Hulu's new series focuses on Beth after a sudden incident, starts to take a look back at her past to see who she wants to become. I watched Life and Beth starring Amy Schumer. Should you? Let's find out. How's it going, movie watchers? Thank you guys for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Life and Beth, which was created by Amy Schumer and also stars Amy Schumer. Now, I know a lot of people really don't like Amy Schumer for her comedy, her performances. I think she's an okay actress. There's nothing really that I've absolutely loved from her. I think she was pretty funny in Trainwreck. I was curious about this series as it did also star Michael Cera and Michael Rappaport as well. So I thought it had a pretty good cast in here, enough to draw me into this series, and also just really check out whatever is on Hulu. This series was pretty good, actually. There's a lot more dramatic takes from Amy Schumer, less of a comedy for this series, and I think that ultimately did work for it, as it's more focused on her life, things that had happened to her as a teenager that led to where she is now, and the series blends her time as an adult, and she is at this point in her life where she is rethinking her career, and then these flashbacks to when she was a teenager with her mother and her father and how they kind of shaped her now, and those are also things that she wants to do. The series doesn't really dive into what she wants to do for a career, but how her teenage self and her life has impacted her now. And so certain things that had happened to her as a teenager are also starting to happen to her again as an adult. So we have this 10 episode series, about 25 to 30 minutes long, and it blends the flashbacks with the current time as well. There's a lot of great moments with Amy Schumer and her co-stars. Michael Cera plays a love interest about middle half of the series, and he's great in here. And they have a really awkward relationship. He's a farmer. She sells wine and is more modern, and he is kind of in this life where he keeps everything really simple. They really don't seem like they would get along, but they do, and they have a really great relationship. And Amy Schumer and Michael Cera would be absolutely adorable in real life, but she works great alongside the co-stars in here. And Michael Rappaport plays her father, and they've had a really conflicting relationship growing up. He was never always there for her. We see him a lot when she's a teenager, and him now. He's dealing with short-term memory loss, and they're trying to reconnect. There's a lot of great sequences with that, but the best moments in here are when she is with other people, because when it's just her by herself, it's really not that interesting. Because when we have the co-stars, when we have the rest of the cast in here, it's bringing out the true personality of Beth, and we are able to also kind of tap into those flashbacks and see her as a teenager and what had happened to her and how it's kind of affecting her now. When it's just her by herself, there's not really a chance to kind of reflect on all of that, because what Michael Cera is doing, or what Michael Rappaport is doing as well, it's triggering those moments from her being a teenager, and then it's able to develop that character a little more. So this is a series that heavily relies on the cast to kind of bring out the moments from Beth and relive those teenage years and explore that a little more. At first, I didn't really find the connection between her teenage years and her adult life now to be that strong. I thought it was just kind of jarring to kind of throw those flashbacks in there. But as the series progressed, we learned more about the relationship with her mother and her father and her sister and a friend that she had not falling out. I think the flashbacks played an integral part to the series and developing that character, and you're just very interested and invested in Beth's life, and watching the two segments of the show mesh with each other and connect. And I thought that was a great way as the series progressing, since there is 10 episodes. There's a lot of episodes, and you're seeing how each part kind of plays off of each other. It's really great. Like I said, I didn't find much of this series to be funny. I think it's more of a dramatic show Amy Schumer does attempt some jokes. They're just not for me. This isn't a series that, even if I did find Amy Schumer to be absolutely hilarious, that I wouldn't find it to be like gut busting humor. It's just kind of very subtle. It's not relying on the humor to tell each story. It's more relying on that dramatic stories to grow between teenagers and herself. So the humor is there, or like the relationships with her best friends. There's some kind of honest like humor kind of being thrown out. I just don't find it too funny, but I don't think that was the show's intention. Was it to be like absolutely hilarious? You're not going to watch Life and Beth and think, oh my god, this show is so funny. It's a show that's more personal and realistic and more dramatic as well. So the humor fits in nicely. Even if I didn't find it all to be funny, I do think that it worked well within the series and kind of took certain sequences a little less seriously and kind of brought some joyful moments to it when you kind of look at overall things. Her relationship with her boyfriend and Michael Cera and her father and her friends, and there's funerals. There's a lot of heavy things within here. The comedy is just kind of thrown in there to a nice little bonus, but it's not absolutely hilarious, but it does work for the show. Amy Schumer is really great in here as well. She created the show. She writes a few episodes as well. It's a very personal show, and it's very realistic too, when you look at like a lot of people and relationships with their parents as well, and how they kind of reflect on that and how it really changes their lives as they become an adult. It's a subject that a lot of people could easily relate to, including myself as well. Didn't have the best relationship with my father, but I think that it's a nice slice of realism. And really good performances too from Beth as she's starting to look at her life and realize certain things and what she wants to do. Even if the show really doesn't dive deep into what she wants to do with her career, it's more of like revisiting relationships and realizing things about her life and where she is at, and relationships that she's developed throughout the years. So I really did like Life and Beth. I thought it had that nice balance of humor and the dramatic scenes, and Amy Schumer was great in here. She worked well alongside Michael Cera. Enough in here to make me really appreciate Life and Beth, from its storytelling to its realistic moments to the progression of the story, its humor, and Amy Schumer in here as well. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Amy Schumer. I don't hate her like a lot of people do, but I think she was pretty good in this series. So before I give you my score for Life and Beth, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. I'm gonna go ahead and give Life and Beth a B. Thank you guys for checking my review for Life and Beth on Hulu. Have you guys seen it by chance? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.